How's it going?
I'm wanting to date.
Yeah.
It's limited resources out there, right?
Yes.
Because I'm not getting on an app.
Why? You're just not into
I'm old-fashioned. I'm like, I need to meet you and sparks happen and stuff like that, because I just believe people make up stories saying who and what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you looking for at this stage, this point?
A partner.
Yeah.
And when I say a partner, I want someone that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's not intimidated by who and what I am.
Yeah.
That likes to travel.
Being painted as someone who is tired, frustrated, and bruised by how hard it is to find genuine connection at this stage. Both can be true in different ways, and that is what makes the conversation so intense. Because people are not just gossiping about Vivica, they are projecting their own fears about aging, love, and being judged. And according to the chatter, Vivica's inner circle is split on how she should handle it. Some allegedly want her to go quiet, let the trend die, move on like she always does. Others allegedly want her to speak up and set the record straight, not with anger, but with clarity. And that is where the tension really builds, because Vivica has always been the type to keep her head high. But even the strongest person gets tired when the world keeps pushing a story onto them. By the end of this first wave of online noise, fans were left divided. Some were defending her fiercely, saying she deserves love without being mocked. Others were pushing that harsh, tough love, saying she should stop caring what anyone thinks. And then there were the quiet ones, the ones who simply felt sad, because they saw a woman asking for something simple, a partner, and watched the internet turn it into a spectacle. And the biggest takeaway from everything circulating right now is this: whether these rumors are exaggerated or not, the reaction shows how fast one honest moment can become a full-blown drama online. Vivica tried to talk about dating like a normal person, and suddenly it became a headline storm, a debate about beauty, and a loud argument about what women are allowed to want at 60. The next layer of this story is when things allegedly got personal, because once that dating clip started circulating, people began acting like they were invited into Vivica Fox's private life. Blogs were reposting the same few seconds over and over, adding dramatic captions like "she's fed up" and "she's done with the games," and fans were eating it up like it was a season finale. And according to the chatter, Vivica could feel the shift in real time, because the messages started coming from every direction. One account claimed her phone was blowing up with text from friends who meant well but had no filter, the kind of friends who swear they are helping while they are actually stressing you out. Allegedly, one friend hit her with, "Girl, just get on the apps, it's not that serious." And another one clapped back, "You don't understand. She's not looking for random attention. She's looking for a real man with real intentions." And the minute that argument started, it became a bigger conversation about how people expect women to compromise just to not be alone. Then there was the industry side of it. Fans claim her team was not happy that the internet was twisting.
And the thing is, it was never nothing wrong with Vivica. Even when she got the tampering with her face, I don't know who she was feeling like or what she was thinking like, but she always been beautiful to me. And I don't got nothing against her. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. I love Vivica. But it's like, I don't know what was in her head to make her be a part of the Surgery Warriors, what she felt like she had to go do later. Like, is you cool, V? The whole BBL thing at 60 or almost 60, like, in my opinion, that is extreme.
That Vivica had recently gone to a private dinner, not with a man, but with a small group of friends who were trying to cheer her up. According to the gossip, it was supposed to be low-key. No cameras, no loud entrances, just food, laughs, and a reset. But of course, nothing stays private when your name is trending. Someone claimed they saw her leaving, and suddenly blogs were posting, "Vivica spotted on a date," even though nobody could confirm it was a date. And that is when fans started saying, "See, this is why she hates the apps, because even real life becomes a performance." Allegedly, Vivica found out about those posts while she was still out. One rumor says she looked down at her phone, saw the headlines, and her whole mood flipped. Not because she was ashamed, but because she was tired. Tired of being watched, tired of being interpreted, tired of people making up storylines like they were writing scripts. And one person who claimed to be near her said she muttered something like, "I can't even eat in feast without y'all making it a circus." Again, nobody can prove that happened, but fans believed it because it sounds like the exact type of frustration celebrities carry quietly. Now here comes the twist that made the comment sections explode. A few gossip voices started claiming that Vivica has been getting introduced to men through friends, and that these men act confident at first, but then switch up when they realize who she is. And the way people described it was brutal. They said the energy starts sweet, the conversation flows, the compliments come easy, and then the man goes home, looks her up, sees her success, sees her interviews, sees the blog chatter, and suddenly he gets nervous. Allegedly, one of these men told a mutual friend, "She's cool, but I don't want the spotlight on me." And that one sentence, if true, is the kind that sticks in your chest. Fans are shocked because that's exactly the fear Vivica was hinting at in the dating clip. She didn't just say she wanted a partner. She said she wanted someone who was not intimidated. And people online started saying, "She's telling y'all the problem, but y'all are still laughing." And then the fan base split again. Half were angry at men, calling them weak and insecure. The other half blamed the culture, saying nobody knows how to date normally anymore because everything turns into content. And the blogs did what they always do. They grabbed the most dramatic version of the story and ran with it. One page posted something like, "Vivica can't keep a man because she's doing too much," while another page defended her, saying, "She's a catch, the men are the problem." And then you had people in the comments dragging her looks into it, which is where the whole situation got uglier. Because instead of focusing on what she was actually saying, some folks went straight to judging her appearance, like dating is a contest and beauty is a scoreboard. The rumor mill also started pushing a narrative that Vivica regrets some of the attention she chased in the past, not because she wanted fame, but because fame comes with strangers feeling entitled to your body and your choices. And fans kept repeating one line, "She can't win," because if she stays natural, they say she is aging. If she does enhancements, they say she's trying too hard. And if she dares to say she wants love, they treat it like weakness. According to online chatter, one of Vivica's closest friends tried to have a real conversation with her, the kind that happens late at night when the glam is off and it's just feelings. And the alleged dialogue went something like this. The friend supposedly said, "You don't know anybody an explanation. You don't have to prove you're still that girl." And Vivica allegedly replied, "I'm not trying to prove anything. I just want somebody real. I'm tired of fake." And when that quote started circulating, fans latched onto it like it was a confession. Then another rumor landed, and this one was the most chaotic. A blogger claims Vivica's exes have been watching all of this like entertainment, and one of them allegedly told someone, "She's just doing this for attention." That claim alone set off a wave of anger from fans because it painted her as manipulative when the clip was literally about wanting something genuine. And people started saying, why do exes always rewrite history to make themselves look calm and make the woman look dramatic? And because gossip never stops at one accusation, another page suggested Vivica was testing the waters by making public comments,
basically trying to see who would step up. Fans argued about that too. Some said it's smart, like a spotlight check. Others said it's risky because it invites more people to talk. And the craziest part is, both sides might be right, because sometimes you speak your truth and the world punishes you for it. The alleged family angle started creeping in too, not because Vivica's family was actually involved publicly, but because fans began guessing how her loved ones might feel. You know how the internet gets. Suddenly, strangers are saying, "I know her family must be worried," or "her friends should step in," like they're insiders. And the tone got even more dramatic when one rumor claimed a relative told her, "Stop dating in the public eye, you'll only get hurt." Whether that happened or not, it became a symbol of the bigger issue. When you've been famous for decades, your love life never gets to be simple. And then, just when the conversation seemed like it might cool off, a new clip started getting reposted, where Vivica jokes about her standards and what she wants in a partner. Fans took it two ways. Some saw it as confidence, like she's still playful and knows her worth. Others saw it as a shield, like humor covering frustration. And that is where the emotional conflict gets real, because sometimes jokes are not jokes. Sometimes they're how you survive a world that keeps trying to humble you. By the end of this wave, the narrative online had turned into a full drama. Vivica Fox allegedly wants love but refuses to play digital roulette. Men allegedly get nervous when they realize her level. Friends are allegedly divided on how she should date, and fans are arguing like they are on a reunion couch. And through it all, the loudest question stayed hanging in the air, not as a fact, but as a rumor that keeps growing. Is Vivica just venting about dating, or is she quietly reaching her limit with how the world treats her honesty like a scandal? And that is where the story started taking a darker, more dramatic turn in the way only the internet can do it. Because once people smell vulnerability, they start hunting for a villain. And suddenly, the conversation was not just dating is hard, it became who is doing this to her, like somebody had to be blamed for her frustration. Some fans began pointing fingers at Hollywood itself, saying it's a system that praises women when they look a certain way and punishes them the second they look human. Others aimed straight at the blogs, accusing them of turning one honest moment into a circus just for clicks. And then you had the loudest group, the ones who always think they know everything, claiming Vivica's real problem is not dating apps, it's trust. Not trust in men, but trust in the whole process. Trust that someone will see her as a woman first, not a headline. According to what people are saying online, Vivica reportedly had a moment after all this chatter where she pulled back from public events for a few days. Some called it taking a breather. Others tried to label it breaking down. And that word alone triggered a storm, because fans started arguing over what breaking down even means. One person said, "She's not weak, she's just tired." Another replied, "Tired is how it starts, then it turns into something bigger." And just like that, her emotions were being diagnosed by strangers who have never sat across from her in real life. Then there was this claim going around that someone close to Vivica tried to push her into a setup date, the kind that sounds cute in theory but stressful when you're the one being evaluated. The rumor says it was a businessman type, not famous, not flashy, someone her friends thought would be safe. And people online describe it like a scene from a reality show. They claim Vivica showed up looking stunning, confident, ready to try. And the man was charming at first, laughing, talking, acting like he could handle it. But then, according to the gossip, the tone shifted when a random fan came over to ask for a photo. The way the story is being told, the man allegedly froze. Not because he disliked her, but because he realized what being with her might mean. The spotlight, the attention, the curiosity. And some posts claim he leaned in and said something like, "Does this happen all the time?" And Vivica allegedly smiled like she has smiled 1,000 times and said, "This is my normal." And the rumor goes that he nodded, tried to play it cool, but his energy never came back. Fans rant wild with that story because it fits the fear they keep repeating, that men like the idea of a powerful woman until the power shows up in the room. But again, nobody can confirm that date even happened, and it could just be another made-up scenario built for drama. Still, the reaction was intense. People were saying, "She can't even sit down for dinner without being treated like an attraction." And others were saying, "No, the right man would be proud." And just like that, her love life became another debate club. As this narrative kept growing, so did the commentary about her appearance. And that is where things got messy in a more personal way. Some corners of the internet kept bringing up her recent cosmetic changes, acting like it explains everything. You had people claiming she did too much, and then in the same breath, those same people would say, "But she's gorgeous though." It's that backhanded support that feels like a compliment with a bruise attached. And what made fans even more heated is how quickly the conversation turned into a moral lecture. Suddenly people were saying, "This is what happens when you try to look younger," or "This is why you should love yourself," as if they have never changed their hair, their style, their body, anything. It became less about Vivica and more about using her as a warning sign. And fans who truly ride for her were not having it. They flooded the comments with messages like, "Stop using her as a lesson," and "Y'all don't know what she's been through," and "You're not her doctor, you're not her friend." There were also whispers that Vivica has been privately upset about how women in entertainment are expected to look flawless, while men get praised for aging like fine wine. And some fans claim she was overheard at an event saying something like, "They want you to stay young, but they don't want you to try." Again, that might be fan fiction, but it spread because it sounded true to a lot of people who feel the same pressure in their own lives. Then came another twist, and this one is where the betrayal angle got pushed hard. A few gossip pages started implying that someone in Vivica's circle has been leaking information about her moods, her dating life, her insecurities, all for attention. The idea of a friend turning into a source is the kind of storyline the internet loves, because it gives them a villain. And once that rumor hit, fans started scanning her past interviews like detectives, trying to guess who she trusts, who she shades, who she avoids mentioning. One clip got reposted where Vivica is laughing with someone at a table, and commentators were like, "Look at her face, she looks uncomfortable." Then another clip surfaced where she's smiling in a totally different setting, and people were like, "See, she's fine, y'all are dramatic." It was chaos, because people were treating random moments like evidence. And the more people looked, the more they found signs, even if the signs were just normal human expressions. According to what the online talk, Vivica's friends were allegedly split on how to handle the gossip. One side supposedly wanted to confront the leak, call it out, cut someone off. The other side allegedly wanted to ignore it, because confronting it would only give the story more oxygen. And in the middle of that, Vivica is being painted as the person who has to carry everyone's opinions while still trying to live her life. A popular
theories started spreading that Vivica's refusal to get on dating apps is not just about safety or preference. Fans speculate it is about control. Apps put your love life into a marketplace, and for someone with her visibility, that marketplace becomes dangerous in a different way. People can catfish, people can screenshot, people can sell stories. And fans were saying she doesn't want to be content for somebody's group chat. And honestly, that fear is not hard to understand. Then the narrative added another dramatic layer, the comeback. Some blogs began claiming Vivica is planning a big image reset, not because she needs approval, but because she wants to change the conversation. The rumor is that she wants to be seen as elegant, confident, mature, and still playful, without the internet dragging every detail. And fans started guessing what that would look like. a new interview, a sit-down moment, a heartfelt confession, a statement about dating, a statement about self-worth. The speculation was endless. And here is the part that made the story feel even more like reality TV. A supposed insider claimed Vivica's team is nervous because every time she speaks from the heart, it becomes a headline, and every headline becomes a fight. But the same insider claimed Vivica is tired of being edited by strangers. They said she wants to say, "I'm not asking for permission to want love," and let that be the end of it. And when fans saw that claim, they rallied behind her, saying, "Say it louder." By the time this wave settled, the emotional temperature online was still high. People were still debating whether men are intimidated, whether the blogs are cruel, whether her friends are trustworthy, whether Hollywood is the real enemy. And through all that noise, the core of the story stayed the same. A woman in her 60s expressing a simple desire for a partner, and the world turning that desire into drama. Not because she asked for chaos, but because the internet does not know how to let a public woman be a private person. And after all that noise, the story that people keep repeating online is that Vivica Fox eventually hit a point where she stopped trying to explain herself and started setting boundaries. Not in a dramatic press conference way, but in that quiet, firm way that says, "I hear you, but you don't get to run me." Fans are saying she was never actually fighting the idea of dating apps like it was some enemy. She was fighting what the apps represent to her: strangers building fantasies, people pretending, and the feeling that love has turned into a marketplace. A lot of chatter claims she had a moment with friends where she finally said what she's been holding back, and the way fans are describing it, it sounded less like a rant and more like a confession that made the room go silent. The rumor is that she told them, "I'm not lonely, I'm selective, there's a difference." And that line spread because it hit a nerve for a lot of people who feel judged for wanting quality instead of chaos. And in that same conversation, some fans claim she added, "I'm not going to beg for connection, I'm going to protect my peace." Nobody can verify those words, but the audience believed them because they matched the energy in her public clip. Then the so-called friend divide got louder, because when someone says they're protecting their peace, it forces everybody around them to reveal their true intentions. And according to the gossip pages, one friend allegedly pushed back and said something like, "You're too guarded, that's why it's hard for you." And another friend supposedly snapped, "No, it's hard because people treat her like a trophy instead of a person." Fans say emotions ran high right there, because it wasn't just about dating anymore. It was about how much she has to carry, how often she has to smile through disrespect, and how quickly people expect her to lower her standards just to make others comfortable. Around the same time, fans started saying the internet began shifting from jokes to sympathy. Not everyone, of course, because the comment sections always have those people who throw stones just to feel powerful. But a different wave did rise. You saw people posting, "Why are we laughing at a woman saying she wants a partner?" You saw people saying, "She's human, not a meme." And you saw others admitting they felt guilty for piling on because it's easy to judge someone you only know through screens. And that is where the situation started feeling less like a roast and more like a reality check. The rumor mill still tried to force new villains into the storyline, though. Some accounts continued pushing the idea that somebody close to Vivica Fox is feeding the blogs, and fans got serious about it because betrayal hits harder than trolling. Strangers dragging you is one thing, but someone you trust helping the narrative spread is another. A few fan pages even started saying, "Watch who's around her when the cameras are near." And while that could be pure speculation, it did create a new tension, the idea that her circle might not be as solid as people thought. Then, according to online talk, Vivica allegedly changed how she moves in public. Not hiding, not running, just being intentional. The kind of intentional where she arrives with purpose, stays for what matters, and leaves before the energy gets weird. Fans claim she has been leaning into smaller gatherings, close friends, more private spaces, less of the loud scene where everybody is watching. And that alone sparked a different kind of gossip, with people saying she's isolating, while her supporters said, no, she's healing. And that argument became another split. Is stepping back a sign of weakness or a sign of wisdom? There was also a wave of posts claiming Vivica Fox has been laughing off the drama in private, like she's not letting it break her. And honestly, both things can be true. A person can laugh and still be bruised. A person can look confident and still be tired. Fans are shocked when they realize celebrities aren't made of stone. They are just humans with better lighting. And when the crowd understands that, the conversation changes from, why is she complaining, to, why is the world so harsh when a woman wants love? The most interesting twist is that some fans started flipping the whole narrative. They began saying the dating app refusal is not a limitation, it's a power move. They argued that for a woman at Vivica's level, apps aren't romance, they're risk. They said apps invite clout chasers, opportunists, people who want a screenshot, people who want a story to sell. And so her saying no is her saying she's not making it easier for the wrong people to reach her. And once that idea caught fire, the comments got louder with support, like stand on it and keep your standards, and the right one will approach with respect.
Still, the internet did what it always did and dragged old stories back into the light. Fans kept mentioning old flames, old rumors, old interview moments where she sounded hopeful about love. And the way it played out online was like a messy reunion episode where everyone has an opinion, but nobody was actually there. One side kept saying she should revisit the past, and another side kept saying the past is the past for a reason. And right in the middle were the people saying, why are we deciding this for her? That debate stayed loud because it wasn't really about her exes. It was about the fantasy that there's a simple fix for loneliness, like love is a button you press and not a relationship you build. By the end of this whole wave, what fans keep circling back to is the emotion behind the clip. The reason it went viral is not because Vivica Fox said something outrageous. It went viral because she said something relatable with a little pain behind it. She basically said she wants the real thing, and she doesn't trust the fake stories.
People tell about themselves, and if the online claims are even halfway accurate, she's not just tired of dating apps, she's tired of being treated like a headline. She wants someone who sees her, not her reputation. And now the biggest thing people are watching for is not who she dates, but how she responds to the storm. Some fans believe she will address it directly in a sit-down conversation, not to confirm gossip, but to reclaim her own voice. Others think she will do what she always does and let the noise burn itself out. Either way, the audience is still split. Some are rooting for her, some are mocking her, and some are quietly recognizing themselves in her words. So if you strip away the exaggeration, the stitches, and the clickbait captions, what you're left with is this. Reports and online chatter are painting Vivica Fox as a woman who is still open to love, but no longer willing to gamble her peace just to say she has somebody. And whether the internet respects that boundary or tries to break it for entertainment is the part that will decide how this story keeps moving in the public eye. So let's bring it back to what we actually know versus what people are claiming. A clip is circulating where Vivica Fox talks about wanting a real partner at this stage in life, and she makes it clear she's not interested in dating apps. From there, the internet did what it always does and turned one honest moment into a full storyline. Now different blogs, fan pages, and comment sections are pushing all kinds of angles, from she's fed up, to she's protecting her peace, to people around her might be leaking, and none of that has been confirmed as fact. It's all based on what's being said online, what's being reposted, and what people think they're reading between the lines. But the reason this is blowing up is because it hits a nerve. Fans are shocked because Vivica has always been seen as confident and untouchable, and yet the conversation around her shows how fast the world judges a woman for wanting love with standards. Emotions ran high because people took sides immediately, some defending